Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So did you go through yesterday's part? Did you study about thermal power station, nuclear power stations based on natural gas? Now all these types of power stations are not environment friendly, okay, eco-friendly. You cannot tell it as eco-friendly because they are non-recyclable forms of energy. That means you cannot obtain it again and again. It is difficult to obtain after a limit. Now, today we are moving on to the next topic, green energy. What is green energy? Green energy means which is perpetual. I have written here perpetual. Perpetual means which is continuing forever. Forever you can get it, okay, and which do not lead to environmental problems. There is a box towards the right hand side that is said to be what is meant by that paragraph is about what is meant by green energy. First of all, we will study about the problems which are caused due to the other sources of energy like thermal and nuclear and the natural gas. Electricity generation based on fossil fuels like coal, natural gas and nuclear fuels like uranium and plutonium are not environment friendly. Even though natural gas do not cause any type of pollution, the amounts of natural gas which is available is limited, okay. So in the next paragraph they have given the problems with problems of using such non-conventional non-recyclable, that means conventional sources of energy. You should understand that conventional means non-recyclable and non-conventional means recyclable. Thermal, that is coal, nuclear, okay, all these are non-recyclable, that is conventional forms of energy. Now what are the problems with it? It is there in the second paragraph given. You may mark it as about 4 points, 4 to 5 points. The first point is it causes air pollution. Okay, what is the point? I will tell you. Burning of fossil fuels like coal and natural gas leads to emission of certain gases and soot particles. This results in air pollution. That is the first point. Second is the emission of carbon monoxide causes health hazards. The second point is incomplete combustion of fuel leads to formation of carbon monoxide. It adversely affects our health. Okay, that is the second point. Third point, increase in percentage of carbon dioxide in the air due to burning of fuels affects environment severely. This phenomena of global warming is an example of this. That is the third point. Next, nitrogen dioxide generated due to burning of fuels like coal, diesel, petrol, etc. lead to problems like acid rain. That is the fourth point. And the fifth point is soot particles generated due to incomplete burning of fossil fuel cause air pollution. It can lead to problems related to respiratory system like asthma. Okay, so these are the problems. So first one is air pollution. Second is carbon monoxide leading to health hazards. Carbon dioxide leading to global warming. Nitrogen dioxide and other gases leading to acid rain, and air pollution causing respiratory disorders. Now we will see the second point. It took millions of years for formation of fossil fuels like coal, crude oil and natural gases, and their reserves are limited. Okay, so that is another problem. Next, problems in use of nuclear energy like the disposal of nuclear waste. This we had discussed when we studied about nuclear power plant. The waste particles, where to dispose it, that is one of the main problems of nuclear power plants. So if you are having a question on about the problems due to coal, nuclear waste or natural gas, then you have to write all these points 1, 2, 3. In the first point itself there are about 4 to 5 points. Okay, then all these points, if it is a 2 mark question you may write any 4, if it is a 3 mark question write any 6. Okay, now towards the right, There are other ways of electricity production which avoids the above problems. Electricity generation from water reservoir, wind, sunlight, biofuels, etc. are examples of such methods. So what can we do? We can use other resources which are environment friendly. The energy sources used in such options, that is water reservoir, wind, sunlight, biofuel, are never ending. That is, they are perpetual, which is continuing forever. Moreover, use of these sources do not lead to environment problems discussed above. Therefore, electricity generation through these sources can be called environment friendly, and such sources are called as green energy sources. So what is green energy? The energy which is perpetual and do not lead to environmental problems, that is called as green energy. Example, the water reservoirs. Okay, water reservoirs, sunlight, wind and biofuels. Okay, now the next topic is hydroelectric power project. Okay, hydroelectric power project. You may see the figure on page number 54. On page number 54 there is a diagram given, schematic of hydroelectric power plant. I'll show you. This is a dam which is containing water. Okay, a dam which is having water. There is this is the power station. This is the unit which is having a generator and a turbine. Okay, generator and a turbine. The water which is collected in the dams, it is stored at a height. That means it is possessing potential energy. As it is at a height, it is possessing potential energy. There are gates here, gates. Okay, these gates are opened. When the gates are opened, okay, when the gates are opened, the water will flow. The water will flow, and the water, the kinetic energy. Moving water possess kinetic energy. So the potential energy is getting converted into kinetic energy. This kinetic energy of water is given to the turbine. The turbine shown here is a horizontal turbine. It will move like this, not like this as in other cases. It is like this, okay, horizontal. So it is not necessary. So this is a type which has been given in our textbook. Okay, so this is a turbine which will move, and as the turbine moves, the generator will move, and the generator will generate electrical energy. So potential energy is getting converted into kinetic energy of turbine, okay, kinetic energy of generator, and electrical energy. The remaining water is given out. It is given as canals. Okay, canals. Now this is the working of a hydroelectric power project. Now we will see the first flow chart, which is for generation of electricity. The water reservoir with potential energy, it is used to turn the water turbine. This is the water turbine. The water turbine will turn the generator. This is the generator, and the generator will generate electrical energy. Now the next chart, that is the flow chart for energy transformation. The first one is potential energy in water. So as it is stored at a height, it is possessing potential energy. When it is made to flow, it is converted into kinetic energy in flowing water. That kinetic energy in flowing water is falling onto the turbine. So it is converted into kinetic energy in turbine, and that kinetic energy in turbine moves the generator, and it produces electrical energy. So these are the flow charts. Hope you have understood the working. Now we may move on to what has been written in the textbook, page number 53. You may see the block diagram showing different components of hydroelectric power plant. Okay, I have discussed that chart. Now the next chart is on page number 54, that is energy transformation in hydroelectric power plant. Okay, now there are some use your brain power questions below. You may see, with reference to point B, potential energy of how much water reservoir in the dam will be converted into kinetic energy. Okay, you may see A, B and C. I have shown here A, B and C. B is at the center. Now the question is, if the water is still here, if the water is still here, there is no water at A. If the water is still here, then what will be the potential energy? Potential energy will be half, because the point is at the center. Okay, if it is at A, it will be more, and if it is at C, it will be less. Okay, so if it is at A, as the height is more, the potential energy is more. If it is at B, now the question is, how much water reservoir in the dam will be converted into kinetic energy with reference to point B? The answer is, potential energy of half of water of the dam can be converted into electrical energy. I repeat, potential energy of half of the water in the dam can be converted into electrical energy. Now the second, what will be the effect on electricity generation if the channel taking water to turbine starts at point A? Okay, if it starts at point A, now this channel, okay, this channel, if it starts at A, and the water is coming like this, then what will happen? The pressure is less as the height is less. Okay, this water is of no use, it is below the point. This water is having less amount of potential energy. So if it is having less amount of potential energy, the water will be having less amount of kinetic energy and the turbine will move slowly. Okay, so the answer is, at A, potential energy is minimum, turbine will rotate with minimum speed. At A, potential energy is minimum, turbine will rotate with minimum speed. Next question, what will be the effect on electricity generation if the channel taking water to turbine starts at point C? Okay, if this channel, this is the channel, if this channel is starting at C, okay, if this channel is starting at C and it is falling onto the turbine, then what will happen? This much of potential energy, this much, the height is more, mgh, h is more, that means the potential energy is more. Okay, so the potential energy is more means the kinetic energy will be more and the turbine will move at a maximum speed. Okay, so now the next, what will be the effect on electricity generation if the channel taking water to turbine starts at point C? The answer is, potential energy is maximum at C with turbines and the turbines will rotate with maximum speed. Okay, now the answers for this might vary. In some other schools they give the answers opposite, but my explanation is, they have asked about potential energy. It is just understood that if the channel starts from here, the potential energy will be more. As the potential energy will be more, the kinetic energy will be more and the turbine will turn with more speed. Okay, now the advantages and the problems associated with hydroelectric power projects. Advantages, first we will see the advantages. Since no fuel is burnt, so in case of hydroelectric power project, no fuel is burnt, that means there is no pollution. Second, if there is sufficient water storage in dam, it is possible to generate electricity as and when necessary. Whenever it is needed, you can generate electricity and you can store it. Although water reservoir is used for power generation, it can be replenished during rainy season, leading to uninterrupted power generation. So in rainy seasons, you can get water again, and for the complete year, you can store the water. These are the advantages of hydroelectric power projects. Now we will see the disadvantages. Towards the right, you may see the backwater due to storage of water in dam may submerge villages or towns in that area. Backwater means the water here is going on increasing. As the water here is going on increasing, then it will enter into the villages and the towns which are associated on the banks of that river. Okay, it will submerge the villages on the banks of that river. The backwater, due to storage of water in dam, may submerge villages or towns in that area. This leads to problems of rehabilitation of the displaced population. Where will they go? Okay, where to replace them, where to rehabilitate them. Moreover, this can also submerge forests as well as fertile land. Okay, agricultural areas could also get destroyed. The obstruction of the flow of river water may have adverse effect on the living world in the river. Now here we are stopping the water from flowing. As we are stopping the water, the aquatic ecosystem inside it could be affected. We have studied about aquatic ecosystem. Okay, some fishes, they move on as just like the birds migrate. The fishes also, they move from one place to another. The freshwater fishes, marine water fishes, backwater fishes, they are all different. Okay, they are all different varieties. So the aquatic ecosystem, it could be affected if you are going to store that water. That is the second point. The obstruction of the flow of river water may have adverse effect on the living world in the river. Okay, so this is a very important question. The advantages and problems associated with hydroelectric power projects. Now page number 55. Do you know some major hydroelectric plants in India and their capacity? Okay, major ones, Tehri, Koyana. You know about Koyana, it is in Maharashtra. What is its capacity? 1960 megawatts. Okay, now next is find out what is lake tapping, why it take place. The answer is there in the notes. I will discuss. Now lake tapping means some tunnels are built. Okay, some tunnels are built into the water. Okay, inside the water itself some tunnels are built, and the water is made to move into places where it can be used for irrigation. Okay, the water in the dam, the tunnels are built from the lower side. Okay, so which can be used for irrigation purposes, or to drain the water, drain the lake water, or to refine lake water, to decrease lake water, etc. I'll just read out the statement. A lake tap involves excavating a tunnel almost to water or rock contact and then blasting out the final protective rock to allow water to suddenly inflow into the tunnel from the lake. Okay, so from the lake, there under the lake itself there is a tunnel which is built through which the water is made to flow out. Okay, that is lake tapping. The question might be asked as a 3-mark question. So this is about hydroelectric power project. You may mark this much in your textbook. Now we may move on to the next one, that is windmill. You are familiar with the term windmill. You might have seen several types of windmills. Page number 55. The kinetic energy in the wind has been used since long for lifting of water, for driving flour mill, etc. The wind energy can also be used for electricity generation. Now what does the windmill do? Here I have shown a blade, a single blade. Okay, this is the blade. This blade rotates. When the wind falls on it, it starts rotating. Now there is a shaft which is connected to a gearbox. Inside the gearbox there is the turbine. The function of the gearbox is to increase the number of rotations. Okay, it is to increase the number of rotations. So gearbox is used to increase the number of rotations of the turbine. The turbine will rotate, due to which the generator will rotate, and the generator will generate electricity. There is a support. This is a support towards the ground. Okay, so this is the diagram schematic of a windmill. Now this is the flow chart showing the generation, electricity generation. Wind with required velocity. It is used to turn the turbine, wind turbine with large fins, large blades. It is used to turn the generator, and the generator will generate electricity. Okay, this question is very frequently asked. They will give you blank boxes and ask the question. Now this is the flowchart for energy transformation. Kinetic energy of wind is converted into kinetic energy in the turbine, which is converted into electrical energy. Okay, now we may see what has been given in the textbook. Last paragraph on page number 55. Wind turbines with capacity right from less than 1 kilowatt to about 7 megawatt are commercially available. Okay, now on the next page they have given the problems of windmill, the disadvantages or problems of windmill. First paragraph, wind velocity is usually high on seashores and that environment is inappropriate for installation of wind turbine. Wind energy is a clean energy source. However, wind velocity necessary for wind energy generation is not available everywhere. In that sense, use of wind energy is limited. So first you can write about the environment at seashores is not appropriate for installation of wind turbines, and wind, that much of wind which is needed, it is not available everywhere. Now there is a figure given on page number 56, figure 5.22. They have shown three types of blades, okay, three types of windmills at home, wind farm and offshore wind turbine. The home turbine, the blade length is of 1.5 meter and the capacity is of about 2 kilowatts. At wind farm, the blade length is about 50 meter, the capacity is about 2000 kilowatts, and at offshore wind turbines, the blade length is about 100 meter, the capacity is about 6000 to 7000 kilowatts. Okay, you may mark this in your textbook itself. It could be asked as a objective type question. So today you learnt about hydroelectric power project and windmill. Okay, so the charts are very important. The charts from the windmill is very frequently asked. The homework for today is write the advantages and problems of hydroelectric power generation and draw the flow charts of both hydroelectric power projects and windmill projects. They will give you the schematic diagram and ask different types of questions. So if you want to answer those questions, you have to read the textbook very thoroughly. They will ask you 1 mark questions for 5 marks. Okay, so for that be ready. Read your textbooks very thoroughly. We will do the remaining in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.